Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Big Blue Breakdown. This is episode number 34 here on the podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media at BigBlue_Breakdown on TikTok, X, Instagram, obviously here on YouTube and on Spotify. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and let's go ahead and dive into our slate here on what we're going to be talking about during this show here. On episode 34 here, we're going to explain the process of the grades. You'll see what we're doing here with this episode. 2024 QB and running back room, not just two, running back and quarterback room. 2025 quarterback and running back room. Then we're going to answer the question, improvement, or is it a step back from last year? And then we're going to grade them. We're not going to do a letter grade. We're going to do a number grade, 1 through 10. I'll explain that once we get there. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And thank you so much for the last video as well. I'm super excited to dive into finally this roster and see what we got and to give you my opinions on it and really look forward to the season. And so let's just go ahead and dive right into the QB room from last year. So on the far left here, we have Brock Vandagriff. Number 11 is Bo Allen. Number 2 is Gavin Wimsatt. And number 8 is right there, freshman Cutter Bully. It was freshman last year. Now, Brock Vandagriff was a transfer from Georgia, where he had been the backup QB for 2 or 3 years. And he transfers over, and his season does not go as planned. 3 guys out of these 4 played last year. Only one that didn't play was Bo Allen, number 11. He's more of a he's a player coach on the sideline. That's basically what he is, and that's what his role is. This was the quarterback room. All 3 played, and that is abysmal. That is terrible. That all 3 quarterbacks had to play last year, and it played like quality time. It's not like they were thrown into trash time. All of them played in quality time, which shows the inconsistency in the quarterback room. And I believe we only dealt with 1 injury, and that was with Brock Vandagriff in the Tennessee game last year. So let's go to some of their numbers here. Brock Vandagriff threw for 1,593 yards with a 57.3% completion rate. I think the whole room ended up with a 50% completion rate, which is really, really bad. And hopefully this year that is something that is much, much improved. He threw 10 touchdowns, but 8 interceptions. 8 interceptions. That is a 2-to-1 ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. That was pretty bad. He obviously didn't turn out to be what we thought he was going to be. And the big news this offseason was that not only was he not going to be returning to the University of Kentucky, but he wasn't going to be returning to football in general. He has retired, and I think he's going to be getting into coaching, so that's good for him. Then you have Cutter Boley, a true freshman last year. He had his worst game against Louisville at the very end. I don't think that really gives the true how well he actually did last year. Look at the Texas game. He played absolutely amazing in that one. He is the future quarterback of this program. He threw for 338 yards, about 49% completion rate, 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He played really, really well against Murray State. Played really, really well against Texas, and then just did not play well at all in the Louisville game. Now, Bo Allen did not play at all. And then you go to Gavin Wimsatt, who actually ended up transferring to Jacksonville State after we got him from Rutgers. He played the second most amount of minutes or snaps, last year. He threw for 287 yards, 41% completion rate, which is really, really bad. and 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, so he had more interceptions like Cutter. But I think Cutter, you can see his massive potential. And as you can see, last year in the quarterback room was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, the worst quarterback room, their production-wise, was probably last or second to last in the SEC last year. That's just how bad our QB room was last year. There has to be a step forward this year if Kentucky is going to improve and set really a kind of like a not a new standard, but set another good starting point to move forward with the program. It has to be done, and it all starts with the quarterback room. So you see those numbers were pretty bad. I'll throw them back up here just for real quick. But yes, you have Brock Vandegrift retiring. Cutter Boley returns. He's the future of this program, except for that Louisville game. I thought he played very, very well in his limited time. Coming in that Texas game, go look at those highlights. Played very, very outstanding in that game when he had to. Bo Allen did not end up playing at all. And now, again, Wimsatt transferred to Jacksonville State. And let's go ahead and talk about the returning quarterback in Cutter Boley. He is the only returning quarterback that was on the field last year. And what does that mean? Well, we don't have a lot. Bo Allen is returning, but he did not play a snap from last year. So there's a couple guys that really know the system, two specifically that really, really know the system. And I think Cutter Boley, and I'm talking about the future here, moving forward, he's going to be really, really well, like he's been through the system. He knows what he's going to be doing when he goes out on the football field. He has played, and he's going to play this year. Hopefully he's not going to be splitting time. He's going to be QB2 this year. But he is the future of this program for sure. For sure. Again, he threw for 338 yards. You can see here, 49% completion rate. Got to get that up. But again, except for that Louisville game, I thought he played absolutely tremendous in his chances that he did get. So he is the only returning production that we have in the quarterback room from last year. So that means what? We went out and we got another guy. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But we went out and we got another guy. And there's going to be a lot of turnover in the quarterback room again. I'm not really going to specifically talk about freshmen. I'll tell you who they are and stuff. Like a guy like Brennan Ward that is coming in. I believe another guy is in. I cannot think. But you have guys like Cutter Boley. And obviously Zach Calzada coming in. We're obviously going to talk about him. He's been mentioned plenty of times on the show already without us even diving into him. And then you got Brennan Ward. You got Bo Allen. I don't think really count it, just in case, I guess. I'm trying to think of the other guy. I cannot, but another freshman. So we're younger in that position group, except for Zach Calzada coming in, and it's a lot of turnover. But it's a clean slate that we, as a football team, and not just in the quarterback room, but we need in the quarterback room. It is there. We just needed a clean slate to work with, and we have that now. So let's go ahead and jump into 2024's running back room. Jamarian Wilcox had a very, very good year in his redshirt freshman year. 92 rushing attempts on 590 yards, led the team in rushing yards. 6.4 a pop, which is very, very good. He had 2 touchdowns. Demisimo Karngbe, 129 carries, which led the team in total, and 586 yards, about 4.5 yards a pop. 5 touchdowns, led the team in rushing touchdowns last year. Chip Trayanum actually got injured in preseason. I think broke his hand and ended up only getting 19 attempts rushing the football, 101 yards, 5.3 yards a carry, no touchdowns. And then freshman true freshman last year, 20 attempts. Jason Patterson, 20 attempts, 111 yards, 5.5 yards, a touch, no touchdowns. He ended up getting hurt, though. He had an injury, but did he look really, really good early in the season when he got opportunities to be on the field against like South Carolina, Southern Miss. I thought he looked very, very good in his limited minutes that he was able to get because he got injured. Really, really excited for this group as we jump into the returning running backs here. Go ahead and throw out a number for you here. Jamarion Wilcox and Jamarion Wilcox and Patterson are returning. Them two really together return 50% of our production from last year. If you actually take a look at the numbers, I think it's like 710 yards added between them. And in total running, with these four guys right here, we had about 13. It was like 1380 or something like that. 1,380. Not 1,380. 13. I believe something like that. Something like that. But yes, this is a very key piece going into next year. I think this is the most exciting room. This is the most exciting room in the program right now. The running back room. They're both going into technically their sophomore season. Jamarion Wilcox, very, very explosive. He's got absolute tremendous speed. And Jason Patterson has really, really good vision. And I can see them both taking that next step forward and being really, really good for this team. So we return 50% of our rushing production, which is actually pretty daggone good. And Chip Trainum, if we go back to this right here, you can see Chip Trainum actually ends up transferring to Toledo, who we play actually week 1. So I think that's kind of interesting. And Demi Sumakarngbe actually he graduates, so he had to go. So congrats to, I guess, both of them, but especially Demi for the time that they gave us. Chip Trainum was a transfer from Ohio State, and Demi Sumakarngbe was a transfer from NC State when actually Devin Leary came over. This is a very, very exciting room heading into the 2025 season, and that's just returning production. Returning production in the backfield is really, really good. I want to go ahead and get clear that the returning production in the running back room is very, very good, and we only add 2 amazing pieces to the running back room, and I really, really am excited for that room. But let's go ahead and talk about Zach Calzada. Here we go. Here you go. 6'4", quarterback, 200 pounds, from transferring in from Incarnate Word. He had his very first 2 seasons at Texas A&M, where he got the starting job after Haynes King gets injured. And in the transfer portal, he is ranked as the 26th best quarterback, which isn't terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. 3-star recruit. And then from high school rankings, he was a 3-star, and he was 17th pro style quarterback and 46th ranked player coming out of Georgia last year at Incarnate Word. He threw 3,744 passing yards, 35 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I believe the year before he also threw 9 interceptions. He throws a lot of touchdowns, but 9 interceptions isn't the best. If cut down on those, really, really solid numbers right there. He said that he has gotten faster. He said that he has literally built his game, and I think he can actually end up being a very, very solid tool for us. His running game has improved tremendously. Incarnate Word is known for their They're I'm losing my train of thought here. They're goodness gracious, them getting their quarterbacks and making them better. I'm losing the word right there. I don't know why, but you seen Cam Warren actually went to Incarnate Word before going to Washington State. He actually committed there as a 0-star recruit, and you seen what they helped him turn into, the number 1 pick in the draft, and they really helped Zach Calzada's form and mechanics. That's what he said. He gained weight, but he got faster at the same time, so he's bigger, faster, stronger, better mechanics. But now I think the challenge for him is going to be moving back up to the SEC and the competition that comes with that. I think his numbers take a step back for sure just because it's the SEC, but I think he is definitely a better version than we saw from him at Texas A&M, where he played very, very solid. He transferred to Auburn after Texas A&M, got injured, and then went to Incarnate Word, so he never played it down at Auburn because of injury. He's a way better version of himself than what he was at Texas A&M, and he was solid while he was at Texas A&M. He wasn't terrible, so I think if you take that step forward, this guy, I think, realistically could be a middle-of-the-pack SEC quarterback, and that is a lot better than what Kentucky has had in the past couple of years with their transfer quarterbacks. So I am really, really excited for this guy. I really am. Now, the highlights that you were seeing on your screen currently are just, I believe, from Texas A&M. So go check highlights out from him at Incarnate Word. His running game looks a lot better. This guy has a tremendous arm. His arm talent is there, and his mechanics are better. So for me, I would project a middle-of-the-pack type of quarterback, and that, again, that is a much improved from what Kentucky has had in the last couple of years. I would say Devin Leary is kind of middle in the pack. So maybe you're getting kind of a Devin Leary-esque type of quarterback here. This guy has experience going into his 6th year, I believe. He's like 24 years old. This guy has the experience at the SEC level, and he's proved it at the SEC level, as you see in this one. They actually beat Alabama in this game here when they were ranked number 1 with Nick Saban. I'm optimistic about Zach Calzada. I believe he does take that step forward from where he was at Texas A&M, and he is solid for us. He runs the system well. He's gonna be solid. I really, really like what I see from him, especially on tape, and his legs. He adds another dimension to his game with his legs, able to run the football. And this guy can, if we need to put a workload on his shoulders, I think at times he can really help us win a football game. And a lot of that deals with the offensive line and the pieces around him. But then you look at the running back room, like, that's going to take a lot of pressure off his shoulders, and so he can then become that, solid quarterback. And this is, when I say middle of the pack of the SEC type of quarterback, you look how good the SEC quarterbacks are this year. And so that means to me that he's probably a top 40 quarterback in the country if he is a middle of the pack SEC quarterback. That's what I am referring to here. We move on to transfer running backs. Let's start with Seth McGowan here. Transfer running back from New Mexico State. Originally started his career at Oklahoma, where he was actually really, really good. But he got suspended from the team for personal reasons. I do not remember. 152 carries last year, 823 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5.4 yards a pop. Those yards are pretty daggone good. 823, almost a 1,000-yard season for this guy. He has a really, really good build, 6'1", 215. This guy's experience, and this guy, if you go watch his highlight tape, this guy can pop a run. And now the dimension that this guy adds for the Kentucky Wildcats is he is really, really good catching out of the backfield. And that's what Kentucky really hasn't had. And that's what he adds with this group. Instead of just being that running back, he can add, almost a wide receiver-esque type of guy outside the backfield. He becomes dangerous outside of that. So he's a different type of player in that way. And maybe with people thinking that we don't have a lot of weapons, he can add to be a wide receiver, running back type of. He's kind of that hybrid where we can use him in both ways. This guy has a lot of speed. He's got a lot of experience. I really, really like this pickup here. And man, what a pickup in Dante Dowdell. This guy is an absolute wrecking ball. 143 attempts at Nebraska last year. Originally started his career at Oregon, and he had, let's see here, he had 614 yards, 4.3 carries a pop. He is 6'2", 227. 12 touchdowns last year. Led the Big Ten in touchdowns last year. He is a short yardage back. Unlike Seth McGowan, they're two different running backs. So that's why I really, really like this running back room. Every single running back gives you something different, and they're all really, really good at their roles. This guy can really, really block too, so he adds that. He's a really good short yardage back. And what has guys like this that have this type of build do in Mark Stoops' system? Do they succeed? And what did Kentucky really struggle with last year? Short yardage downs, able to get into the end zone from the 1 yard line, able to get the 4th and 1. This guy will give you that. He will give you that almost every single time. 4 yards and less, he's going to get the first down. And he adds blocking. He's going to get into the end zone when we're in the red zone for sure. I'm really, really like this pickup from Nebraska. I think he's going to be very, very solid for the Cats. So now, what we're about to get into here is, if I tell you, so our running back room and our quarterback room, are they improved from last year? And so you can already see what my predictions are for this one. But I want to just add this in here. This wasn't really on the plan, but what does a improved Kentucky quarterback look like? What does that translate to wins? We don't know. What about the running back room? Does that translate to wins? I don't know. But I think it's very, very interesting that I think really anybody can tell you that I think this year we have a better running back room. We're deep in the running back room, really, really deep. And I think we have a better quarterback play from Zach Calzada specifically this year. So that's better already. So my answer is yes, improved for these positions from last year. So I do want to say this. I'm going to break down each position like this moving forward. And then, let's say, once we get done with the offense, because we're doing that first, and then we'll break down in total numbers from last year and kind of project and be like, hey, we need to get to these numbers to be at a solid position and get to a bowl game this year and improve from last year. So I'll do that at the very end, but I wanted to go ahead and break down each position group and see if we're improved there, and then talk about the numbers from a whole offense perspective at the very end once we are done with that. So yes, my answer to improved or not, or a step back, yes, 1,000% improved from last year. Now, this next thing, grades. I give a number grade, and so this is the whole quarterback room and the whole running back room. Okay, a lot more goes on the shoulders of Zach Calzada in the quarterback room to give you that number, and then the whole running back room here that I think is going to be playing. We're gonna have a four-headed monster back there. I think it's gonna be really, really cool to see the rotation of all these guys and see what we can really, really do, and to really take the stress out of Zach Calzada's job as it already is. So I give Zach Calzada in the quarterback room a 6. I think he's gonna be solid. I don't see him being a superstar, if I'm being completely honest. I don't see a absolute superstar. I think we're younger, except for Zach Calzada, which I think brings this up with him having more experience. But I think the overall talent in there is about like a 7. But I think the lack of inexperience from the guys below Zach is about a 6 here. And I just see him being a little bit, if I would project right now, below a middle of the pack SEC quarterback. I would probably throw him maybe at that probably the 12 spot. The 16 teams, so half of that would be 8, 12, 11, which is below half here. So I give that a 6, and I give the running back room a 9. I think this running back room is top of the SEC. I don't think number 1. I'm not projecting that, but I think 9. I believe it is a top 5 running back room in the SEC, which I believe is very, very good, and take a workload off of Zach Calzada and maybe make him better than what he actually is. I could definitely see that happening for the Cats, and that it really, when everything comes together like that, I think he can be solid. I think Zach Calzada would definitely be better than Brock Vandegrift and Gavin Wimsatt last year, so I think it's an upgrade. And the running back room is deeper than last year and top end better than last year. So I do think we upgrade in both of those right there. I think those are both solid. But overall, right here, we are a victim to our schedule, so we're going to see how that goes. But yes, improvements here at both positions. I truly believe that. But thank you guys for tuning into this one, episode 34 here on the podcast. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can see when we drop every single time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in here. It means absolute lot. Make sure to go check out our shorts and on X, TikTok, Instagram. Comment, subscribe here on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. We post all of our audio stuff there as well. And thank you guys so much for tuning in here. And as always, go Cats.